Okay, well, great to see you again, Vic. Thanks for coming
And
out to see us. I'm back at Crown and Manor, which we were both members of. What inspired you to become the Arsenal women's coach? Was it something you'd ever thought about, or did it just come about by chance?
No, it came about because the GLC put sports officers in most clubs in London surrounding because of the problems we had in hooliganism and the game going the wrong way at that point. And we tried to get it back on track, and I think by their initiative in saying we'll put people in and we'll try and get people together and locals to let them know that the game isn't all about people fighting in the streets and things like that. And I think they did a good job, in fairness, and I thought it worked well, and they're still working today. So that sort of probably speaks volumes for their initiative in the first place.
Was it something you felt an obligation to do to run the women's team, or did you always want to be a coach?
Well, I've been a coach previous, and after coming out of football in terms of playing, and was interested in what I was doing, and obviously the girls' scenario came about because I employed a girl that was actually playing in senior women's football at the time. And when I discussed it with her, we had a discussion on how it ran and how it worked, because I didn't have a clue. And I didn't have a clue whether there was a local team or whatever. I later found out that there was an Islington ladies that played as well. And I asked them to form part of the club as well, and they came with us. A lot of them girls played for the club itself in either the first team or the reserves. That was a big help for us to build on that, because these girls already were in playing. When we discussed it, she said their team are getting all old together, as it were. She was in her early 30s or late 20s, and she said it would be fantastic because I said to her, I'm thinking about maybe going to the board and see if we can get a team together. Because also I had two local girls that went on to one work in the shop and managed the shop, and another that played for England. So got England caps, and that was lovely. And come from sort of the Chapel Market in that area, Sarah has now gone on and got her own printing company, which she's doing really well in, for football shirts and numbers and names and that type of thing. Yeah. And Michelle has a family and is now, obviously she had to retire early because she had a knee problem. But not until, as I say, she had got a number of caps for England, which was fantastic.
Did you have to make sacrifices yourself to coach that team? I mean, did you give up other work, or did you do this alongside doing other stuff?
Just did it alongside doing my normal job at Arsenal. So I was coaching with a youth team, doing the scouting for Don Howe on a Saturday, and that was because he employed me in this post from the GLC, and then obviously worked Monday to Friday doing bits and pieces in the community. So it was an 8-day a week, really, to be fair.
Didn't leave much free time then, really?
No, never had too much time to myself, but enjoyed every minute of what we were trying to achieve. And as we know now, it's become history, and the girls have formed such a balance in the club. It's almost on even keels.
Did you get a lot of obstacles to try and start up the team, would you say? I mean, I know the club was supportive, but in other ways, did you get other obstacles? And was it hard to get funding because it was a women's team?
Yeah, it was always hard to get funding, I think. But being part of one of the biggest clubs in the world, and I say in the world, they had formed a massive support throughout the world. And to get something like that underway was phenomenal for me, because obviously David Dean was a massive influence from the board for me, and has always been an integral part of getting women's football off the ground with me, because without him and the obvious association with the board, we would never have made it.
Yeah. Do you think without David Dean it would have been hard to get it off the ground?
Absolutely. We were paying to play football, basically. It's silly, really, but it's like coming to the boys' club and paying subs.
Yeah, of course.
That's exactly how it was for the girls. Fortunately, we got rid of that within a few years. But then we started managing to get kit off the guys, and it was all men's kit that we were getting.
Right.
So it didn't look too flattering for the girls, but didn't worry them, because they realised that something special was happening.
Of course.
And developing. And that's the way it was.
What was the reaction of your peers in the football world? I mean, Did they think you were wasting your time? Did they make fun of it? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, I mean, you always get it. But even my own friends, I think, said to me, like, yeah, what are you doing? Yeah, I said, these need help, the girls need help, like, you know. I said, and you'll be surprised. I said, come to one of the games and see just how much skills and that they've got. And I said, you'll be surprised how it's going to get better and better. And that was how it worked out, really. And all those same people now said, well, you was right. You was
For
right.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, were there any matches you wanted to play or any tournaments you wanted to go in that you couldn't for some reason or other, due to lack of funding or lack of players or anything?
Yeah, it's probably lots of things, Michael. I mean, at the end of the day, you choose the path that you go down and you make it within your reach that you can do it. I remember us going to Germany and playing the tournament there. I think there was 10 teams in the tournament over a long weekend, a Friday through to Sunday evening, and we finished 10th or 9th of 10. Yeah. And I'm thinking, God. And a guy called Danny O'Shea, who had a son playing at Arsenal as well, and he was a good coach and a good player himself, Danny. And we both said, this is unbelievable. Like, you know, the levels that we got to reach to just sort of compete is going to be, phenomenal. And that's how it worked out. Yeah. And that was a great learning stage for us to go and play in that tournament.
Yeah.
Because then we realised that what levels we got to reach. Unfortunately, as everything's panned out, we reached it.
Certainly did. What struggles or sacrifices did the women have to experience to play the game at the start? Well, financial, I presume they had to pay, like you said.
Financially, it wouldn't be easy for them. And also travel. I mean, a lot of the girls travelled from as far away as Southampton to come and train. And we would train at the latest time in the ball court because obviously you understand even at the boys' club here.
Yeah.
I don't know what time they close, maybe 10 o'clock or something. And the last session in there might be 9 o'clock.
Right.
I don't know. But we couldn't get on our indoor ball court probably till about 9:30 in the evening. Wow. So we were training from 9:30 through to 11 o'clock almost.
Wow.
And then the girls have got to get home.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how much they had to volunteer and the sort of difficulties that I found myself in as well, because I didn't like the fact that they were leaving that club at 10, 11 o'clock at night and having to drive in distances and things like that. And it wasn't a great feeling for me either. Sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, did that make it hard to attract players, to get enough players to play?
No, it didn't.
No.
we still kept getting, lots of players coming in from other clubs. Millwall Lionesses were at that time probably the biggest club in London. Yeah. And obviously in the north there was Knowsley and Liceo Pacific, who were Everton and Liverpool now. And then we had Doncaster Bells, who were very formidable Yorkshire side that, won most things in most seasons. So we were up against it a wee bit.
Absolutely.
But we had players come from Doncaster to us and Liverpool to us. It was quite nice to think that they wanted to come and join Arsenal Football Club.
Did you scout the players? With the men's team, obviously, you were a scout, so they scout players. Were you able to do that with the women at that time, or was it they came to you?
A lot of the girls would make approaches to me, but I would make it known if I like someone, and I would say to the manager, listen, if they're thinking about moving on, please let them know that I'd have an interest. Right. Which was the right way to go for me, because women's football had to try and develop, and I wouldn't want to take every player that was like, it's like Man City taking everyone at the moment. Every player that's available, they take. Sure. So, it was that wasn't my agenda, because my agenda was to develop the game. But to try and develop the game, you obviously had to have a good team yourself. Yeah, sure. And as I say, we were fortunate that we gained the players that we wanted, and it made a big difference to the club.
I guess having the branding of Arsenal really helped a lot, didn't it?
Of course. Yes. The name alone, triggers people that want to come and play for a top professional club in terms of the men and everything. And it was great for me because I was also involved in the men's side, so it worked both ways for me. Yeah. Because I could always, annually, photos. Once Arsene came into the scene, I got on really well with him, and he employed me as well on that side. We were able then to have photographs done with the men. Yeah, yeah. And him in the photo as well, which I've got hanging in my garage at home. But it's lovely, like, you know, to think that he would do that every year for us. And it got to where we were all smiling and laughing because most of the trophies that were in front, the women's. And not too often the men's. So it was good.
No, it's great.